Peacemaker Episode 4 just changed everything we know about this dimensional portal. So we need to explain this device, who the frog alien is, who built the QUC, and what is the actual purpose of this dimensional storage room. We are going to prove that this device, like we predicted, is actually a mother box. And those devices are connected to Darkseid, but not in the way you think. And there are so many clues in this episode that reveal how all of this connects to the sequel, Superman: Man of Tomorrow.
Your dad didn't make the portal.
No way.
I thought he was some sort of super genius.
He flunked out of 10th grade.
So how'd he make all them helmets and stuff?
It's, complicated.
Welcome back, ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and it's official. Peacemaker's racist dad did not create the quantum unfolding chamber, aka the QUC. The dimensional portal is opened by this mysterious device, which belongs to this frog alien guy. Who's he? We will also explain that. And of course, we already know that the QUC leads to 99 other dimensions, including the parallel world where everything is better.
It's one of the 99 doorways to other dimensions in there.
So James Gunn did confirm that Peacemaker Season 2 will reveal the big story for the DCU.
And are you building towards a big event, or? Okay.
Yeah, you know, the next season of Peacemaker, they'll see where a lot of these things are going and have a little bit more of a sense of maybe what can happen.
And the QUC is clearly the thing that this story will revolve around. We're going to circle back to that in just a moment. Anyways, the real important part about this device is that it creates the portals. Now, check this out. To create the new portal, Chris needs to activate the device, which involves moving around these marbles because presumably there is a specific sequence. And then the portal builds up, sucking anything in the vicinity, and then it creates this big boom that opens the portal. But there's also this bluish glow on the sides of the door, and this sort of looks like the Bifrost opening in the MCU. So what is happening here? How is this portal created, and how does it open doors to the QUC? There is only one explanation that can explain this. The way the portal is created looks exactly like a boom tube from the comics.
It's a boom tube.
And boom tubes are portals that can create doors to anywhere in the multiverse. There's this energy buildup, everything starts getting pulled toward the portal, and then it blows up outward with a big energy wave.
It all fits.
Give me a coffee, fellas. I slept awful last night. That sounds like a rough time, man, but I really wouldn't know. Lately, I have been sleeping great. I used to have the hardest time falling asleep. I'd be on my phone, getting amped up, and now I have a new bedtime routine down pat.
Oh, do you circle around a few times on the bed? Works for me.
No, I end every night with an AGZ from AG1, the sponsor of this video. So you guys know, we've been talking about AG1 on this channel for years, and their whole body health made a huge difference in my life, but AGZ builds on that nutritional foundation to help me rest.
What is it?
Well, AGZ is a nightly drink that helps me wind down with its clinically studied ingredients, including adaptogens, herbs, and minerals. So this is a melatonin-free formula that supports the body's natural sleep cycle.
Go on.
So these ingredients support 3 stages of rest. The adaptogens and aminos help you wind down and ease into sleep by helping your nervous system manage stress. The magnesium helps to optimize your sleep quality. And antioxidants such as saffron help you to wake refreshed and not feeling groggy. Again, guys, this does not contain melatonin. AGZ works with your body's natural sleep cycle instead of overriding it. And it does this by easing you into rest with these clinically studied herbs, minerals, and adaptogens. I personally have a really stressful job, and I struggle to not lay in bed and think about work and what I gotta do the next day. Then, next thing you know, I'm dreaming about work, and suddenly I'm always at work. AGZ has helped me calm down before my bedtime routine. And you can drink AGZ in different ways, warm or cold, or with milk or water. Personally, I like it with warm milk. Now this flavor is chocolate. Tastes like cow with chocolate milk. And you could also try their other flavors, chocolate mint or mixed berry. So about an hour before bedtime, I put my phone away, I make myself a couple of AGZ, and then I settle in with a good book. After so many nights of short, vivid sleep, it is nice to finally wake up feeling refreshed.
Oh, can I have some?
Absolutely. And if you guys are ready to turn down the stress and focus on the rest, head to drinkag1.com/ScreenCrush or click the QR code on screen to get a free frother with your first purchase of AGZ. Thanks again to AG1 for sponsoring this video. Now back to what I was saying. Now a boom tube is created by a device called a mother box. So yes, our theory is that this device is the DCU's version of a mother box, and I realize that it's round. I will explain how that works in just a moment.
And they found this doorway and they found this little box that controls it.
See, mother boxes create portals that are called boom tubes, but they can also grant their owners a bunch of abilities. And this is because the boxes draw their energy from the source.
She is a living computer connected to the source.
And that's basically DC's cosmic energy that connects to some godly multiversal power. But mother boxes are also sentient supercomputers that can help a racist piece of crap create really advanced tech.
But I thought mother boxes are like big space cubes.
Yes, in the DCEU, the mother boxes are like these big bulky cubes, sort of like the Tesseract from the Avengers, and I guess also the cube from Transformers. But originally, the mother boxes look like smartphones. Basically, if God needed a smartphone, he would use a mother box.
You're telling me I can phone anyone, anywhere in space and time on my mobile?
As long as you know the area code.
And this comes from the great Jack Kirby. He created the mother boxes as part of his epic space saga titled The Fourth World. This includes the new gods from New Genesis. They are like Asgardians from the MCU. And Kirby also created the final boss of DC Comics, and that's Darkseid. He is the ruler of Apokalips.
So we're talking about gods and Darkseid now?
Yeah, look, I know this is a Peacemaker video, but James Gunn did confirm that this season is going to set up the really big story for the DCU. But I promise it's not going to be like the Snyder Cut all over again. And we already know that Gunn will be exploring the new gods because we are getting a Mr. Miracle animated show.
What are you, the world's greatest escape artist or the world's greatest idiot?
Now, we don't know if it's part of the DCU, but Mr. Miracle is very important to the new god stories, and he's sort of Darkseid's adopted son. But before all that, here is some evidence that this device in Peacemaker is a mother box. Now sure, the portal-making devices don't exactly look like a mother box. You know, it's round and the mother boxes are mother boxes. But in the comics, the boxes can take different shapes based on their user's preference. The mother box theory can also explain the helmets. Chris hints that Augie didn't actually create the super advanced helmets.
I thought he was some sort of super genius.
And he flunked out of 10th grade.
So how'd he make all them helmets and stuff?
It's, complicated.
Now, mother boxes, though, are sentient supercomputers that communicate with their owners.
I am Harvey, a computer. Jim sucks.
So in theory, Augie was able to create such advanced tech with the help of a mother box. And here's more evidence. This glow on the side could be a nod to Kirby's original design for the boom tubes. His inspiration for how the boom tubes work was the Bifrost Bridge in the Thor comics because he used to write those stories. And the glow on the side sort of looks like the Bifrost in the MCU.
An Einstein-Rosen bridge is a theoretical connection between two different points of space.
It's a wormhole.
And also, the glow on the sides of the portal remind us of the glowing energy waves that are created by Lex Luthor's pocket universe in Superman. So this could imply that Lex's pocket universe is essentially the same thing as a QUC.
They're tearing a tiny hole between the two universal fabrics. I'm able to access it from multiple dimensional portals I've set up around the globe.
But the QUC is simply a far more stable pocket universe that was created with the help of a mother box.
Okay, so who built the QUC? Frog alien guy?
Probably not. See, I don't think that the frog guy is the creator of the QUC. He's probably somebody who found the portal-making device and just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And surprisingly, we couldn't find anything in the comics that could explain the frog alien guy. For some reason, not that many significant frogs are in DC Comics.
Probably worth the Google.
So actually, if you know any interdimensional frogs from the comics, let us know in the comments. And don't say Kermit, that's cheating. But our theory is that the frog alien guy is somehow connected to the Kryphotic alien. That's the other guy who visits the QUC. Anyways, what's important about all this is how all that stuff we explained about the mother boxes connects with the purpose of the QUC. But to explain this part, we need to jump into the comics just for a moment. See, there is something similar to the QUC in the comics, and it's called the Storage Tesseract. That's a pocket dimension that belongs to the time-traveling team called the Legion of Superheroes. And just like the dimension portal in the show, the Legion has a portal inside their closet that leads into the Storage Tesseract.
How is it so big in this place?
It's a quantum unfolding storage area. It leads to a dimensional nodule outside normal space.
So it's a pocket universe that unfolds whenever the portal is opened. And I mean that we can see all the doors and structures inside falling into place like Lego. So it's like a TARDIS, small on the outside but huge on the inside.
That's what she said.
And in season 1, Chris name drops one of the heroes of the Legion.
Ever since I had to team up with Matter Eater Lad, my sense of what's normal is a little up.
Matter Eater Lad is a member of this time-traveling group, so this is probably what inspired Gunn when he created the QUC in season 1. But now the QUC is this dimensional passageway, and it's a lot like a certain multiverse traveling ship from the comics. So there is a super team called the Authority in the comics, and they use an interdimensional ship called the Carrier to protect their world against invasions from other universes. And remember, the Authority movie was originally supposed to come out in this Gods and Monsters as a chapter, but it was put on hold and maybe it's canceled. But the engineer, who is a member of the team, did appear in Superman. Anyways, the reason I'm telling you this is because the Carrier is like the QUC. It contains a chamber chamber with these portal doors that lead to anywhere and everywhere in the multiverse. Now these doors work like the time doors from Loki and Deadpool and Wolverine. And when Chris powers up the dimensional door in this episode, there's this golden electric energy that looks exactly like the doors on the carrier ship.
Wait, so you're saying this whole thing is just a big ship?
No, we don't think the QUC is a ship, it just functions like the ship from the comics. The carrier exists outside of regular space-time, so it technically is everywhere all at once. So, similar to the carrier, the QUC is this massive chamber that exists somewhere in the multiverse, and it connects at least 100 dimensions with the portal doors. And those portals are created with mother boxes. And there's a reason why I'm telling you all of this, and this brings us to who we think created the QUC. The carrier was created by the Monitor. He is this very important multiversal being in DC Comics, and he connects to their biggest event called Crisis on Infinite Earths. But I don't think James Gunn's going to be going into the weeds of the multiverse. We do not think the DCU is going to repeat the mistake of the MCU and make a big multiverse story. I think the DCU will keep the multiverse stuff as simple as possible. Like how Peacemaker Season 2 isn't really about another universe, but it's actually about how the grass is always greener in an alternate dimension.
She's dating Rick Flag Jr., who's still alive, but really still in love with me.
Rick Flag Jr. is in love with you?
No, Harcourt.
And guys, don't forget, we are in New York for Comic-Con week for our Encore live show October 10th. Ticket links are below. And guys, I am so excited to show you these new Peacemaker shirts that we made for our merch store. A biker Eagly with text that reads, "Do you really want to taste it?" We also have this thoughtful bird blindness PCA, give a hoot about bird blindness. And of course, for all you animal lovers, we have Eagly and Peacemaker as Charlie Brown and Woodstock. And also Crypto with text that reads, "Where's the dog?" Links for all of these are below. And now you can become a store member and earn rewards to get free stuff. So the second option here might be Metron. He is the new god who explores the multiverse because he is obsessed with knowledge. And it makes a lot of sense that Metron will create a pocket universe that works like an interdimensional storage room for all the knowledge he collected.
Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection.
And he travels space and time with his Mobius chair, which is essentially a large mother box. Metron also had something to do with the creation of mother boxes, and he's responsible for Darkseid obtaining mother box tech. And honestly, Darkseid could be behind the QUC. Although Darkseid is the embodiment of evil, and as we all know, evil cannot create, it can only destroy and subjugate. So maybe Darkseid just assimilated the QUC for his own use to achieve his plans.
Oh, but why would Darkseid need it?
Okay, so this brings us to the DCU story that we think James Gunn is planning.
This is where the fun begins.
Darkseid's ultimate goal is to find something called the anti-life equation. It's this cosmic mathematical thingy that will allow him to dominate free will. Because all Darkseid wants is to turn everyone into his submissive and mindless slave. Think of it like the One Ring. And Darkseid is obsessed with Earth because humanity holds the secrets of the anti-life. So a lot of Darkseid's stories are about him manipulating events on Earth. For example, Darkseid arms a criminal organization called Intergang with weapons and tech from Apokalips. This could explain all the weapons racks in the QUC. Sure, those guns could belong to Chris and Augie from both dimensions, but there are also a lot of weapons there. So, just like in the comics, Darkseid is already using the QUC to arm a bunch of bad guys across multiple dimensions to achieve his goals. In the trailers, we see shots of Argus entering the QUC. So they will find the portal in the cabin and then start exploring other dimensions. And this opens up a Pandora's box since Argus will now have to control the QUC.
Cause of like national security stuff?
Yeah, at least at first. After all, they don't want another situation like Lex's Pocket Universe, tearing Earth apart.
Last thing we need is another dimensional rift, tearing up this planet.
And in case you didn't notice this before, there is something very wrong with this Earth 2. Everybody is whiter than frightened mayonnaise. There are no people of color or minorities anywhere in this dimension. And this could only mean one thing. This world is actually the DCU's version of Earth X from the comics. So this is a parallel universe where the Nazis won World War II and the entire country is run by white supremacists.
Is this one a dirty Nazi, General?
And this, of course, ties perfectly into Peacemaker's story because his dad is a super racist. But let's not get into the weeds of this theory right now. The important part to our theory is that this Nazi-led land will serve as ammunition for Argus to take drastic actions against all of these dimensions. But they can't defend against other dimensions with regular humans. These guys can't even fight a duck.
You told me it was a duck.
So they will need metahumans. Now Argus already used them in the Suicide Squad and Creature Commandos. But the QUC starts a whole new arms race because those other 99 portals represent endless possibilities of new tech, new weapons, new metahumans, and especially new threats. So that means Argus will have to take full control of the QUC, invade other dimensions, colonize parallel worlds, and steal all their stuff.
You forced our hand. We had to come up with
a nuclear deterrent, because that always calms everything right down.
all of this could be a part of Darkseid's plan. Lure humanity into the QUC, corrupt them with this mad grab for power, and use all of that chaos to find the secrets of the anti-life. And in a moment, we will explain how all of that will start in Man of Tomorrow. In the trailers, we saw the return of Sidney Happerson. He is the Luthor Core scientist that we saw in Superman. And he's the guy who keeps arguing with Lex about the dangers of the Pocket Universe.
It is not safe.
So Rick Flag is so blind with his need for revenge that he's going to hire the guy who helped Lex tear Metropolis in half. And naturally, this is how Lex returns.
But he's a bald, dirty traitor, and he almost destroyed the world.
All true, but Lex is also a genius, and since he created his own pocket universe, he is the expert on this kind of stuff. And this is how all of this connects to the Man of Tomorrow. This is the Superman sequel, and the announcement is accompanied by this amazing art created by the great Jim Lee. And we see Lex wearing his war suit from the comics, and this kind of perfectly connects to our Mother Box theory. The traditional suit is created by Lex, but not always. Originally, it was an alien suit that Lex simply took for himself, and a later version of the suit was actually made on Apokalips. There's even a suit that was created with a Mother Box. See where we're going with this? What if Lex will use the QUC tech to build himself the suit in the DCU? And this could be an answer to Argus developing defenses against other dimensions. And James Gunn confirmed that this season of Peacemaker directly connects to Man of Tomorrow. He even called Season 2 the prequel to the new Superman movie. Considering the fact that so much of this season revolves around the dimensional portal, it's a no-brainer that Man of Tomorrow will center around the QUC. Now that being said, that artwork for Man of Tomorrow makes it look like we're getting a Superman and Lex team-up, possibly against a much bigger villain, and that could be Brainiac. Now that would be really cool, but don't forget that Lex still hates Superman and wants to kill him.
The government gave me the authority to kill you. If not today...
And unfortunately, public opinion is fickle. For example, everybody loved Superman at first, but then Lex revealed the message and everybody turned on Superman. Earlier this season, we see Clevis Thornway talking about metahuman escapes from Arkham Asylum and Bellreeve. So there is a growing metahuman crisis.
Metahumans like the ones in our organization are becoming more and more distrusted, and we can't afford to stoke the fires.
Now, Clevis is the host of Sphere News, who spreads anti-metahuman agendas, and this plays into a really cool story from the comics that we keep talking about on this channel. In a crossover event from 1986 called Legends, there's this TV host called Gordon Godfrey who incites a hate campaign against superheroes. But secretly, Godfrey is a servant of Darkseid. He created chaos on Earth, sparking hate toward the heroes, and eventually he planned to corrupt humanity so they will accept him as their overlord. It got so bad that Ronald Reagan had to ban all superheroes.
The person Darkseid doesn't need space mind control math, he just needs an X account.
Good one, high five. And our theory is that Clevis Thornway is the DCU's version of Gordon Godfrey. I mean, we even hear the name Godfrey used in the first episode.
Miss Godfrey, please escort Miss Harcourt to the lobby.
And this would be the second half of Darkseid's plan on top of the QUC. And get this, Legends was the first DC major story crossover after Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that event rebooted the DC continuity, just like the DCU is a reboot of Snyder's DCEU. Also, the Justice League in this story consists of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Wally West, Guy Gardner, Martian Manhunter, and Blue Beetle. Now, there's a few others, but all of these names sound like a possible DCU Justice League. And according to the rumors, Blue Beetle is also going to appear in Season 2. Although, Gunn is probably leaning toward the Justice League lineup from the amazing animated show, and by the way, that is perfect.
You didn't think I'd come here without reinforcements, did you? Wish I'd thought of that. Oh, wait. I did.
Anyways, we see Clevis being this grifter of metahuman hate to spread panic. And this so-called metahuman crisis is probably connected to what happened in Superman. Superman and the Justice Gang stopped a war, and thus they made a clear stand that they won't allow the world's governments to neglect innocent lives in favor of bureaucracy and self-serving politics.
Baravia invaded Jarhanpur, and I showed up and told them that wasn't right.
This, of course, is a good thing, but like we hear in Superman...
Glad you're not concerned about the metahumans, Rick, because now they're the ones making the rules.
This will push politicians and armies to create deterrence against these heroes.
We've got to find a way to protect people from what is rapidly becoming an existential threat.
There are already nations with really powerful weapons and corporations that own metahumans. So this is another reason why the QUC will be so important, because it can contain the weapons and tech that will allow Argus to stand a chance against these gods. In fact, this could be a fantastic way to adopt the Cadmus arc from the Justice League animated show. In that story, Waller worked with Lex and a bunch of other shady people in the government to create deterrence against the Justice League.
You've got a spaceship floating over our heads with a laser weapon pointing down. In another dimension, 7 of you overthrew the government and assassinated the president. We're the good guys.
Wait, wasn't she fired?
I mean, she'll be back. She's like Colonel Jessup from A Few Good Men.
Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
And if not, Rick Flag could serve this role in the DCU. So in a sense, Darkseid is sort of like Prometheus giving fire to humanity. But this is not a gift. It is a trap that will destroy humanity and reveal the anti-life to Darkseid.
Oh, so the Justice League movie is going to be the heroes fighting Darkseid? I mean, that's the Snyder Cut person.
No, not exactly. I don't think Darkseid needs to fight the heroes, not right now. That fight will happen years down the line. What we think is going to happen is that we don't see Darkseid at all for a while. We just get the sense that there is someone behind all this chaos, pulling the strings from the shadows. This is why Darkseid uses Intergang in the comics. They're the criminals that he arms with alien weapons. But in the DCU, we think Darkseid will exploit a different group, and that is the Legion of Doom, an alliance of supervillains who are arch-enemies of the Justice League. But they won't work for Darkseid, at least not knowingly. They will believe that they are weaponizing the QUC weapons to achieve their goals. In secret, though, they're Darkseid's pawns. And this happens in the comics. A few times, actually. Darkseid was secretly the founder of the Secret Society of Supervillains, which is another team of supervillains much like the Legion of Doom. And in another crossover event called Final Crisis, Darkseid uses the supervillains to cause chaos against the Justice League while he obtains the anti-life. See, that's Darkseid's whole thing. He uses supervillains and criminals like they're his subsidiaries to achieve his goals.
Why am I helping you?
Because I'm manipulating you. That's the way I get people to do things for me.
How did you do that?
If you make my chair look really nice, I will tell you.
Deal!
So, like we said before, Argus will recruit Lex to help them with the QUC. He will weasel his way back to power, and in secret, Lex will then assemble the Legion of Doom. And then the villains will take control of the QUC and, do what bad guys tend to do, which secretly will tie into Darkseid's endgame. So that would be the story of the first Justice League movie, conflict over the QUC. And we think this is what James Gunn is planning with the QUC. So what do you guys think? Could this device be a mother box? Do you think the Darkseid is behind everything so far? And if not, what are your theories about the QUC and the portal-making device and the frog alien? Big shout out to Pavel T, who wrote and edited this video. And if you guys want to let us know in the comments, you can also find me on Twitter, Blue Sky Threads, or in our free-to-join Discord server. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.